Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Higgity haggity, higgity wiggity, wiggity waggity wicks. Oh, it's time to open up my wonderful bag of tricks. Ziggity zaggity, viggity vaggity, biggity baggity bay. Oh, I wonder what we'll find today. This is Frank Skinner, and this is Not the Weekend podcast. I'm with Emily Dean. Let's do it. And Lecoq.
Sorry.
We haven't done those for a while.
No, I just thought,
Yeah. Thought, why not? I like the sound of your bag of tricks.
Thanks very
We'll
much.
discuss that later.
I was going to say higgity haggity, wiggity waggity, ziggity zaggity, zosps. Oh, it's time to open up my wonderful bag of wasps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But I didn't think it was...
I thought better of it.
It was a bit more of a closed idea.
That would make a good radio sting. Right? Wasps.
I think we'll leave it there, shall we? I'm not going to top
This
that.
has been the Not the Weekend podcast.
I must tell... Oh, no.
Oh, you've got me.
Oh, no, listen. I had a headache this
That was a
week.
lovely story. Any...
I love that story.
Is it a migraine or a migraine?
Well, I say migraine.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
really?
that's
I would
typical
say migraine.
me with
Yes,
you.
of course it is.
Not that my would be much better.
No.
If I said my, I'd have to say Delilah. I wouldn't be able to...
I wonder if Tom Jones gets a lot of my migraines.
No, he doesn't.
No, fact.
Because he actually has no brain at all. He's too masculine for a brain.
Yes, you're right.
I won't have it.
I won't have it.
Brain? I won't have it.
There's just a giant lump of testosterone. That's what he is.
He is. He's a mighty bear of a man. He's everywhere at the moment.
Anyway, back to your
Like
headache.
God. So I normally I have I don't want to plug any particular brands, but I take a couple of a sort of thing you can go and get in Boots, and I don't mean that cat from
What, Puss in?
from Shrek.
Yeah.
So I think of Puss in Boots nowadays.
With the big eyes.
Oh yeah. So no,
I said that like it was sexy.
something sexy. I think there's something sexy about it. I don't think that's controversial.
Well, like the Caramac Bunny, your other favourite.
Oh no, I don't like the Caramac Bunny at all. I don't like the fact that it's got makeup on. It's like it's escaped from a lab. And I don't think they should have that baboon in it with the metal skull cap either. What does that advertise? Flake, I think it is. So,
The smoking beagle.
the smoking beagle in the background. Just walking, just standing outside a shop, just having a smoke. Of course they can't do the smoking beagles. They have to put them outdoors.
Yes,
Oh,
they're not
yeah.
allowed health and safety.
Yeah, what a thought.
Yeah.
Smoking beagles out in the cold as well. Anyway, that's enough about experimentation. Experimentating? I mean, a new word, but I quite like it. Experimentating on animals.
So anyway, Frank, your headaches,
Yeah, so...
as we call them, it's like your falls.
I actually spoke to a medical person and I said I felt that I have a headache about once a fortnight. And I think that's too much, isn't it?
Depends, really, doesn't it?
On what?
on what you've been up to. Like, if you have one once
Beg
a
your
fortnight,
pardon.
it's it varies, doesn't it?
It's it's a day... Whenever I try and wear a hat, the day after.
Well, that'd be it then. There's a link there, isn't there?
Do you know then I reached for a chocolate biscuit that wasn't there? Is there anything worse than that?
Oh dear.
I reached for an empty plate.
Shall we?
Don't give me now. Don't
action
patronise me. Don't
chocolate?
patronise me.
I can give you a crescent of one, but I think you're better than that.
Yeah, I'll save myself now for some sort of brunch. I love a compound word, brunch.
Yeah.
A portmanteau.
Word merging.
Jedward,
Wordging.
J-Lo, smog.
Smog.
Smog is a compound of smoke and fog.
Oh yeah. Hadn't even. Oh, I've had a eureka moment.
Oh, we'll gather you round for the facts.
Never noticed that before.
So, he gave me this new kind of tablet. He said, try this. It's called Triptan.
Right.
And as I thought, what I always thought, condiment is a bit shorter than names. Anyway, so I took it and I got a headache, and I couldn't remember whether he said put one under your tongue or under your pillow. But I put one under my tongue, and I went a bit weird, I'll be honest with you.
Did you?
I actually went a bit weird. I was looking at something on the internet. It was the Daily Mail online. I'll be straight with you. And I thought there was a picture of Emma Watson.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
You know, from,
HP.
or as I used to call it, Emporio Hermione.
Oh.
And there's a picture of her, and I thought, oh, that's... of course, I keep having recurring dreams about Emma Watson every night. And this picture sort of explains them now, of what it's all about. Even though I'm not having recurring dreams about her, I became convinced that I was. I had a bit of a strange...
But Timothy Leary.
Yeah, very weird. And I got slightly distressed, I'll be honest with you.
One of those acid heads.
Yeah, because I don't want to think of myself as someone who dreams about Emma Watson, if you receive my meaning.
I don't want to think it. I think for clarity, it's good to say that you thought you did, but you didn't.
I definitely don't. The sign on my dream
it's
door...
acceptable now.
No, Burberry. That's my dream code. Which reminds me, I went past the Burberry shop and there was a picture, advertising poster, of a couple in a sort of very passionate embrace, and
Lovely.
she'd got a Mac on. I didn't like it.
Well, that's because it's Burberry, darling.
No, but it
Sell
it
Macs,
looked like he jumped on her in a park.
I'll pass on your comments.
Okay, thanks.
The CEO.
Put it to the board, yeah.
Thanks very much. I think that's a mistake. I think if you put a Mac, let's have them upright, please.
That's that. I will pass it on.
So they could have been snogging near the Mac hanging up on a peg.
Yeah, they could have been lying on the Mac.
That's going to help sales, isn't it?
Yeah, they could have said, we'll lie and have a snog, but it's still a bit damp, the way things from April. You know, April's been it is the cruelest month.
It does make you
put
wonder
the Mac
why
down.
Burberry aren't marketing their Macintosh coats as picnic blankets as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
Quite an
on the
expensive
inside.
picnic blanket.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway... I don't dream about it, and I just got very, very confused. And then I went to see some friends I was meeting, and I said, "Look, I apologised. I said, I'll be honest with you, I've gone a bit giddy."
Welcome to my world in the 90s.
Yeah, and I sat like the sort of, you know, have you ever been out with one person's had drugs or something like that, and they're very, you know what I mean? They frolic. With the rest.
Frolic.
And that's what I was like that.
Were other people noticing your behaviour?
I told them. I said, I know I'm giggling, but I had this headache tablet, and it's had a strange effect on me. And somebody said, actually, I like you better like this. One of my friends said, and I thought, well, that's good to know that my personality is one which is improved by rizatriptan. That'll always be on my mind now when I'm doing a TV appearance. What about a little rizatriptan? Hey?
You become like Michael
the edge
Jackson
off.
wanting his milk.
Turn me into a madcap broadcaster. But it was... I found it quite scary, and I went when I'd come out of it, as it were. There's that piece of paper you get in drug things with all the side effects, and I went through that to see no mention of Emma Watson.
No.
Or giddiness.
No,
Did it have those side effects
I
then?
think it did say giddiness, but
Did it really?
I'll tell you what it did say: phonophobia.
No.
Are you aware of phonophobia?
I'm going to work it out.
No, but it
Go
doesn't
on.
sound like I've ever had it.
Is it?
I don't think you've ever had it.
No.
It's a fear of your own voice.
Oh, is it?
Right back at you.
That's quite scary, isn't it?
Phonophobia.
Fear of your own voice. Who are you going to tell? Everybody. Ghostbusters. Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. The headache went.
Right, but some other stuff came in its
Lovely.
place.
Yeah, but I was half up a lamppost in me smalls by the time it disappeared. But it was a real stress, because I haven't had a top deck shandy since the 80s.
Top deck shandy.
I don't think your body could cope.
No, and...
I remember that. I used to drink that as a child.
I was saying odd things and people were really laughing. I mean, that hasn't happened since the 90s. So,
did you stop the dinner party like you did recently and say, no, tell me, what are you laughing at? Did you do that?
Don't discuss that. It makes me absolutely ill.
No, I wasn't at all forceful. I think that, I was a bit, I love everyone. Yeah.
You take your shoes and socks off.
I'm sure I mentioned this to you guys before, but did I tell you this when I was at school and I said I had a headache? I was about 11 and the matron said, "You're too young to get headaches, dear."
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've always associated headaches with aging, to be honest.
No one said that to me, actually, when I mentioned I had a headache.
Not even that stage manager with the glasses on a lanyard.
Who was that?
I don't know, but it sounded like quite a homosexual thing to say.
Oh, okay. And relax. That was that was like when the Cockerel was talking about Ian Wright on the Saturday show. We all just...
We've got to move on.
Turned out it was fine. I looked it up.
Was mine just okay?
Did you?
Yours was borderline. I'll be straight with you. As Madonna would say.
Oh.
Would she?
She'd say borderline, wouldn't she? And then she'd say, "I'm going to lose my mind." Everybody, keep taking me.
At all.
Okay. That's my favourite Madonna track of all.
Okay. What's your favourite Kylie again?
My favourite Kylie...
I'm just interviewing him for the New Statesman, sorry. What's your favourite Kylie?
Is possibly Got to Be Certain.
Oh, you love that one.
I've had enough of hearts broken and I'm not gonna take...
Have you had another of those pills?
Whoa!
He's doing the reverb as well.
Yeah, well, it's very hard. I mean...
I know.
How many have you had?
Well, I haven't had one since that.
You sure?
I've got one left.
One left.
Is it in a glass cabinet on the...
Well, he only gave me two as a tryout.
It's like the Matrix.
And I'm worried it might all go a bit Charlie Sheen if I have the second.
You're going to start calling us the goddesses.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a little bit wary. Anyway, so that was that. I might try it again because I say it worked for the headache.
Don't try again, Frank. I've got a very bad feeling about it. Frank,
well, if I try it under laboratory conditions,
the Caramac bunny.
if I lock myself in a room with a close friend and take one.
Oh, that would be nice for the close friend.
Apparently I'm hilarious. On Troy's Tapper in Tin.
When you said you'd try it under laboratory conditions, I was just picturing all the animals that we talked about at the start of the podcast.
That'd be fine.
I was thinking, that'll be really tricky.
No, I daren't try it in the same room as the caramel bunny.
The smoking corgis.
Beagles. We're going to get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not... Can we say we...
Yeah.
We feel sorry for those animals.
We should probably say we don't condone drug taking or testing on animals, do we?
Well...
Frank!
What about testing on animals that leads to a cure to a major disease for humans?
Well, I'm all in favour of that, but this is not the forum, is it?
No, it's not the forum. You're quite right. You're quite right, we'll leave it.
Major cure on Absolute Radio.
Forum actually used to be... a soft pornography magazine.
This is not the forum either. This is neither. That's not the forum either.
Interestingly, in the A5 format.
Was it really?
Yeah. Pocket sized.
We all know you know that now.
But it was based almost entirely on readers' letters.
Oh, was it?
Some of which I...
No images?
Very few images. It was readers' letters.
The literary type. Lovely.
Exactly. I was always more of a wordsmith. I was going to give you a quote, but I decided against it. But it ended swinging them to and fro in a massive display of succulence. What else? Have we heard from the outside world? Please, to rescue us from this moment.
This morning truck driver's gear change here.
Yeah.
This is an email that was sent in by John.
Oh, John?
Yes.
How is he?
John.
Dear John, he says, "Dear all, with reference to the problem of guffawing inappropriately during your podcast," I think we must have talked about that.
Well, we talked about people laughing at the podcast. I occasionally laugh out loud at podcasts whilst on dog walks in the meadows, and every now and again I startle people.
I think that dog walks in the meadow sounds a bit sinister.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
very Daily Mail profile.
Cut to neighbours saying he kept himself to himself.
What dog walks in the meadows?
I could tell you so much more that would incriminate me now. That would make you think I'm really weird. I exercise. I take...
You take a shovel.
In the motto.
I do, yeah. I go. I walk the dog. I walk the dog. Listen to a podcast, and I do exercises off park benches and stuff.
What, sort of like prison yard exercises?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Box squats, press ups, that sort of, mad stuff.
Do you take an Indian club?
No, I don't.
I can see you doing sort of calisthenics, you know what I mean?
I've got
I see
kettlebell.
Tai Chi.
I don't like to boast.
Tai Chi?
He's very Tai Chi.
No, he's too down to earth.
I'm more like the Matrix. I just take a pill and say I can do kung fu. I do that. That was a good quote.
So we heard from John.
Anyway,
John got to
meanwhile,
say?
back in John's life.
Laugh out loud at podcasts.
Yeah, lol. Lots of love, that means, apparently. I often listened to you in the British Library while working on my book on radical psychiatry in Italy in the 1960s.
Wow, I want to read that book. Radical psychiatry in Italy in the 1960s.
Yes, he often lols. He says this...
what I'm imagining now is the Go Compare man lying on a couch saying, the thing is, I don't really want people to go compare. I feel I make them dissatisfied with their lot. I make them question everything. Everything is valued and measured against other things. Why not just be happy with your own things?
Good point.
Anyway.
He says, John says that his lolling frequently happens when Frank starts singing. More, please.
Well, no one's ever said that before.
No, I know.
But if he's writing a book on radical psychiatry in Italy in the 60s, how can he be listening to podcasts at the same time?
Can he concentrate? I thought it was fact that the human voice distracted you. Pop some music on.
I love the fact that people still write books in the British Library. He's in the reading room where Karl Marx wrote Das Kapital, presumably.
Yeah.
Does he say he's in the reading room? He's not just like in the foyer.
So. He's in the foyer. He's not in the meadow doing his exercises.
He's in the calf with his headphones on.
No, I'm imagining he's in the reading room writing it.
Wowee.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to buy that book. You can put me down for one.
All right, it's by John, just in case you're trying to find it in the bookshop.
Radical Italian Psychiatry in the 60s by John. Okay, I've written that down.
Italians in the 60s, they were very fashionable, weren't they?
Yes,
I think my friend's done a couple of his books. He has a by John. So yeah, I tell you what though, a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine from university. Yes, I know. And he was doing a PhD on the East Indies Company and their influence on literature in the 19th century. You know, the sort of thing. And he was telling me that he was he's one of the cleverest people I've ever met. He was sort of poached by various universities because he was so clever, they all wanted him. Anyway, he was in the British Library, in the reading room, and he had all these dusty old books he was going through, and he fell asleep, head on the desk. And when he woke up, he was in an enormous pool of his own saliva. He said when he lifted his head from the desk, there was a strand still connecting him to the desk, and he was so disgusted. He went outside and he sat on the steps of the British Library. He said there was beautiful girls from overseas in summer dresses, giggling with young men, and he thought, this is life, isn't it? This is life out here. I don't want to be looking at those dusty old books. And he gave up his degree at that moment, gave up his PhD.
That man is Tom Jones.
And, all the books he had, he gave to the second-hand bookshop. And he started going to the gym every day and doing a lot of cycling. And that was that.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true
Turned
story.
his back on academia?
Like that.
Wow.
All because of one pool of saliva.
I've had similar epiphanies, but let's not discuss that.
No, let's leave it. I mean, I woke up in my own vomit and urine on a regular basis. I never even thought of giving up.
It took years.
It's all about endurance. That's what keeps us going in this country.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, let's call that an interlude. What else?
Well, I've been reading. I'm rather obsessed by this
Are you
story.
eating?
Well, I had
Spit it in the
I
bin.
had a small. No, it's gone down it through my digestive tract now.
Oh.
It's coursing through my body.
It's not a raw sausage.
No.
Okay.
That's more your area. Can I just say Alan was eating but got away with it then?
Don't know what you're talking about.
No,
was, Frank.
don't make me reach into the back of the car and slap you.
David Cameron, Frank. This is my
get
favourite
out.
story ever about him.
Right. Your
Ever.
favourite story ever about him? Wow.
Yes. So he's had a bit of a strange time anyway. He's always under some sort of pressure, David Cameron.
Well, yeah,
wasn't he?
to be fair, he's the Prime Minister.
Yes, it goes with the job. I understand that.
pressure game.
But this is quite something. So the news has emerged that one of his ex-girlfriends has now become a nun.
Mm-hmm.
This is a woman that he dated when he was at Oxford. She's now known as Sister John Mary.
Did you write a book on radical Italian psychiatry?
But she did have a bit of an epiphany. She had drink and drug problems and then...
one of those nuns.
Turned her back on it. Yeah,
Why is she called Sister John, Frank?
You get that sometimes.
Do they?
I was taught by a woman called Mother Mary Adrian.
Were you?
Yeah.
You were.
Really?
I was, yeah.
Is it like a boy named Sue? Is it so that they have to go through life and...
Toughens them up.
It's just slightly tougher
Is
than
that
the
what
other.
it
So they have to fight the other nuns on a
Is it
regular
really?
basis. No, I don't think it's
have to
that.
fight them, and they do DIY and put the bins out and stuff like
I
that.
don't know why she was called Mother Mary Adrian. You know, I've never questioned it before.
It's extraordinary.
The odd thing is her surname was Childs. It was a homage. They don't care about chronology. Yeah, so
That's quite
I
gutting
see.
for a bloke, though, isn't it?
Do you think?
Oh, come on. If your ex becomes a nun. That
I
is.
don't know.
If I had any Men of the Cloth in my back catalogue, I'd be gutted.
Well,
And you know you haven't, though. I mean,
No, I don't.
I'd be thrilled if an ex of mine became a nun.
Why?
Well, then I'd have.
you'd feel like you'd done some work for the big
I
man.
think it's at last one of my exes have got a chance of forgiving me. We want the trouble is with going out with David Cameron is I bet he's always saying your ex-boyfriend left you in a complete mess, which is what he always does about the economy. No, I went out with a.
Sister Adrian Childs.
Actually, can I tell this story? Okay, let me feel of
Let's have a little musical interlude while he decides.
Let me think of a way of telling this. I went out with a woman who, after our relationship, up sticks and moved to the island of Lesbos. Let me put it that way.
To the island of Lesbos.
And
Up sticks.
now there's a way of one can see that. Obviously.
Alan has totally lost
Oh,
it.
Alan's got tea coming down his nose. I hate that. Tea nosy, that's what I call it. You're right.
I'm all right, yes.
Okay. And some people suggested to me that I should take that as something of a slap in the face. But I read it as a sort of I'm not gonna
Read it.
Not gonna top that.
That, if nothing else, gives us an insight into your relentless positivity. That is it.
Yeah, well,
A lot of people would take that as, wow, what kind of boyfriend was I that I put her off boys? But you go, she's obviously thought, I'm never going to do better than that. I'll look at a different market.
well. I mean, I had to say there were signs.
What sort of signs were there?
Well,
Waistcoat?
after
Did she wear a waistcoat?
I had a postcoital cigarette. She had quite a large pipe, Sherlock Holmes style. And well, anyway, she wore a three-piece tweed suit.
Lived in Hebden Bridge.
What is that? Is that a big gun?
Yeah.
She loved
Didn't know
Victor
that.
Sackville West. She was a fan of hers.
Yeah. Anyway, she's a very nice lady. Some of my best friends, etc. I think it was the...
Moved to the up sticks and moved to the island of Lesbos.
Yeah, I think it was Will Rogers. Can we use this phrase? I'll check it with Absolute. Will Rogers said, I never met a dyke I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you can still use that word, but I know what he meant. I think there's something lovely about having a friend who there's no chance. Means you can.
Well, you've had that with me, to be fair.
Never say never. Another one of those triazepams, and anything could happen.
The weird thing about the David Cameron's ex becoming a nun story is how much the press have made a fuss of it, because I actually think it would be a better story if it was the other way round. If David Cameron's nun became his girlfriend, then we're talking...
But has he got a nun?
Then we're talking front page.
David Cameron owns a nun.
I'm sure he's got a nun. They've got everything, haven't they?
Oh, he probably has,
At the click of his fingers, he can be in touch with everyone in the world, so surely he's got a nun on standby.
I imagine he's got a nun on his staff.
Yeah.
Not as we speak. But, this has gone. It's gone too adult.
It's gone bawdy, that.
Do you know it's gone really adult?
It has. I don't want to do adult.
It was ever since you mentioned the A5 literary porn.
Yeah, you're right. I shall look back on this entire podcast with no little regret. Can we say that?
Do you think she was superior in bed? Do you think... one more. That's the last one. That's the last one.
Very good. Thank you for not doing a habits joke. My girlfriend has said to me on a couple of occasions that she thought I'd make a good priest.
She said that to me.
Yeah. Again, usually post-coital. Anyway, you know we get children listening to this. Do you know that?
Do we?
No, I don't think so.
No.
We have precious few adults, let's face it.
No, I think we do. I think we have people listen.
So, what else?
I wanted to tell you about something that I thought may interest you.
Tell me.
Yeah, I recently went away with some friends, me and my family and them and theirs, to their static caravan. It was a bank holiday weekend, and we went on the old...
I don't approve of that, can I say that?
You don't approve of the static caravan?
No, sir.
Why not?
No, sir.
Well...
For someone that's been so bawdy during this podcast, it's...
can I just say, I know what you mean, Frank.
It's interesting that you draw the line
exactly
here.
What you mean.
I think they should be free range.
You think so?
What you're talking about is a caravan in chains.
It is, yeah, I suppose.
How many were there of you in the one caravan? That's what I didn't approve of.
2 children.
Oh.
No, hang on, 4 children, 4 adults.
What birth was it?
What birth? It's a big one, but I'll not lie, I never passed solids the whole time I was there, because, you just think...
I tell you what, this is one...
This is the most disgusting podcast
This is our only ever parental advice podcast.
Well, you were asking about the proximity of me to the other guest there, and I didn't...
No, I wasn't asked. I just wondered how big the caravan... I just think the whole point of a caravan is that it is mobile. You know, it moves about. What's the point of having wheels on it and then keeping it static?
Can I raise a difficult question at this point? The static caravan, is that a trailer park?
Yeah.
Is that a UK trailer? So you were in a trailer park?
Yeah, I went on holiday in a trailer park.
Okay.
It was only a day.
Like Eminem's Family or something? Okay.
Yeah, just like that.
I've seen that film.
Not really, no. It's a bit more swanky than that. It's nice.
Okay.
Swish. But we had a barbecue on the Sunday,
Nice.
and
Oh.
lovely. But they're fishitarians. They're those vegetarians that only eat fish.
Pescatarians.
Yep, them.
Fishatarians? I've never heard
They're
of that
called
before.
pescatarians.
Yeah, it's just a casual phrase I've used.
Okay.
We don't need to dwell on that, but let me tell you this.
And it would have worked too if it hadn't been for those pescatarians.
All right, we do need to dwell on it. Very good.
No, go on.
They had, honestly, the most fantastic array of condiments I've ever seen at a barbecue. You would have been in heaven. I know you love a pickle.
Sorry.
Just off the top of my head, you've got your basics: ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. They also had a sweet corn relish.
I've had that, yeah.
A red pepper and tomato, like a saucy chutney thing.
Oh, yeah.
What's
Mustard,
the yellow one with the
everything.
bits in it? That's my worst.
Said mustard twice.
That's a have I?
Don't repeat them to make it sound like there's a bigger range than there
there was
actually
an
was.
enormous array.
What kind of, did they have...
Ironically, the only one that they didn't have that I could think of was barbecue. And we were having a barbecue.
No one likes barbecue.
I think it's because they were vegetarians and they were scared to go in KFC and just get them out a little...
Mustard's a masking agent, not a condiment.
Oh, it's good. I like a bit of mustard. But
Can't bear it.
I was
My
excited
problem
by
with
this.
mustard, can I say, is... Are you aware of French's mustard? The
Yes,
the
very.
American brand?
Yeah, the squeezy one. That you
Yeah.
can
Hot
get.
dog mustard, yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's very... I find that someone should have stepped in there Do you remember there was a time when Absolute Vodka were talking about suing Absolute Radio for confusing people? Because people might think that they could get free vodka out of their DAB radio. I think that was the basis of the argument. What worries me is that French's mustard is not French mustard.
Yeah.
You're right, Frank.
Now, people are gonna think,
it's not Dijon.
People are going. I wonder how many couples have argued, maybe even split up, and left behind heartbroken children when someone's been sent to get French mustard and has come back with French's, or vice versa.
Yeah. The possessive apostrophe is the problem as well, isn't it?
And can I tell you, French mustard is not as mild and creamy as you might think. Only Coleman's French mustard is like that. Actual French mustard, looking at Dijon mustard, is not as hot as your English.
No.
But it's got a bit of spiciness to it. Yeah.
Well, you'd have loved this barbecue.
I'm calling that the Mustard Interlude.
Yeah.
Which, again,
like that.
would be a great band name.
Little mustard round up there.
When I said to them, this is a great array of condiments that you've got here, they did eventually crack under the pressure and say, well, it's because we're vegetarians and our barbecues just aren't that good.
Oh, so the food's so dull, they have to...
It's a bit bland.
They're veggie burgers.
They have to
Terrible.
put tiger balm on everything.
Exactly, yeah.
May as well if you're going to put mustard.
Oh, what a sad indictment of vegetarianism that you have to...
Yeah. I mean, there will be
I think-
vegetarians
Oh,
now
like they were
composing an
we're now
email
putting
of
the boot
review.
into vegetarians.
No,
This is
I
just
think it's true of all food.
Richard.
I think there is no... I can't think of a food off the top of my head, a savoury, that isn't improved by pickle. Why not make them taste more pickly? Save us all a lot of bother. I'll tell you what I love, though. A picnic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I love it. You know, spread a nice Burberry mat. And you gather... No, I like the traditional cloth,
I don't-
tablecloth.
I don't like the clearing up element. I can't bear it. And the glasses are smeary. Awful. I know.
I imagine you just put the whole lot in a bin at the end and then buy another picnic basket for next time. No, but there's something lovely about a picnic. It's I'm never happier.
Oh.
Well, maybe after a triazapipan. And why does gingham feel so right? That wasn't a rhetorical question.
Just thought the pill had kicked in.
We'll get emails.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.